Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Tuesday, the 4th day of April, 2023, Tuesday of Holy Week, the 38th day of the season of Lent. Coming to you this morning from our cathedral, Holy Name of Jesus Cathedral, here in downtown Raleigh, looking towards the sanctuary right over here. Behind me is the Mary transept, and then the Joseph transept is right across from us over there. You may be able to hear the great choir of the diocese rehearsing, because today is the Chrism Mass, when we bless oils, a functional Mass that has become a little bit more than what it perhaps should be. But it blesses the three principal oils: Chrism, oil of the sick, oil of catechumens, that are used throughout the year. Every year, new oils are blessed so that they may be used in our parishes, again, with the newness and the freshness that Easter brings us. And so today is the day in which Bishop Luis will be blessing all three of those oils here at Holy Name of Jesus Cathedral. There are readings today for the Chrism Mass, but everybody else who will attend Mass today will attend Mass of the Tuesday of Holy Week. And Mass of Tuesday of Holy Week, again, the suffering servant songs of Isaiah continue. This one speaks of the servant, basically, who thinks that he has toiled in vain, that everything that he tried to do and all that he tried to accomplish has been met with naught, and that basically it was a waste of his time and everything really does not matter anymore. And basically God says, no, that is not true, because you work for me. And if anybody works for God, then any of the work that they do comes to bear fruit. It has to, or else God is not all-powerful, and God cannot accomplish what God says God will do and what God sets out to do. And so the servant basically is no longer a servant, but a light to the nations. That's the way that God basically then proves that God's will be done. It's no longer just somebody who does something for God and just gets it done, but now someone whose doing becomes brilliant and is able to touch and shape lives and peoples and nations for centuries to come. In John's Gospel, this kind of, again, interesting sense in which things have come to naught, and again, it's all a waste of time. We have the betrayal of Judas foretold, and then we have the denial of Peter foretold. Again, what seems to be the breaking down again of this wonderful friendship, these wonderful relationships that Jesus had forged with these 12 closest companions of his. Everything seems to be falling apart, and yet Jesus prays for them and says that he is to be glorified even with all these things that are falling apart and everything that seems to be not making sense and becoming more and more of a tragedy rather than the glory and triumph that people hope that Jesus would bring. Again, people are only looking at the instant, and what happens in times of distress and sorrow is that we only look at the instant and the now and the present, and we forget about a future that lies past that. It allows us to be people who can do much more things and many more things than often what we see and what we can understand in our own lives. And so because of that, we need to be people who are open to hope, open to wonder, open to the work of God in our lives. Without that, Lent becomes a foolishness and foolish pursuit that we have done for 40 days, and Easter becomes meaningless. May, again, this Tuesday of Holy Week bring us the hope that we need, the courage that we seek, and the peace that allows our lives to see the work of God within it. A glorious Holy Week, people of God, and St. Francis, and may the Lord continue to give you his peace.